booming Bahamian business. Agriculture takes center stage today as that industry takes off.
Customs clearance getting through the customs line could get a whole lot easier.
And in sports, tracking trophies. High school athletes go after track and field glory. The Bahamas tonight. The National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Big announcements in the nation's second city today, and they all have to do with promoting and sustaining economic growth on that northern island. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Saunders.
And I'm Charisma Robinson. The nation's leader announcing government's latest efforts to address the pending expiration of a vital agreement made between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
This move to secure a comprehensive set of new arrangements is expected to spur economic development in the nation's second city. And as Joan Davis-Roll tells us, the news comes on that island is on the verge of an economic boom.
An historic announcement coming from the nation's leader, the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, as the island of Grand Bahama is said to be on the precipice of a new era. This as certain provisions of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement with respect to exemption on business license fees and real property tax are due to expire in August of this year.
I have called this press conference to announce a timely, significant intervention which my government is making with a view to charting a path forward to positively impact economic growth in Grand Bahama within a framework suited to the present and the future, and that has also given due regard to the provisions of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement.
He further announced a group of movers and shakers who have been appointed to a special committee mandated to not only review and make recommendations with respect to the expiration of certain provisions of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, but other appropriate measures to promote and sustain economic growth here on this northern island.
The committee is comprised of the following persons: Dr. Marcus Bethel, Chairman; Mr. Maurice Moore, former Member of Parliament, former Cabinet Minister; Subaltern Bethel; Mr. James Smith; Mr. Kevin Seymour, President of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce; and Ms. Cassietta McIntosh.
A highlight of the Prime Minister's presentation coming when he announced that there's a renewed interest by investors to purchase the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
In the aftermath of the demise of Sir Jack Hayward, and obviously the demise of Mr. Edward St. George, there are entities from around the world who are continuing to express an interest in the purchase of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and that one of the assistance that this committee will be able to render to me as Prime Minister and Minister of Finance and to the government of the Bahamas will be of immense value, even though that is not within their terms of reference, in the event of some purchaser manifesting in the immediate future an intention to purchase. We would want to ensure that we are transparent, we are open in all that we do, we're sharing with the Bahamian people what is happening, because there is a lot at stake here in Grand Bahama.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
After leading the 8,000-employee Atlantis Resort for nearly a decade, George Marcantonis is taking a look back and offering his thoughts and advice for the future of the resort he helped to expand to a multi-phase force in the region. Keisha Adderley spoke with him exclusively today about his stint in the Bahamas, which officially comes to an end next Friday.
I think bittersweet would be an accurate description.
Hard to be anything but after 9 tumultuous but monumentous years.
Obviously, I'm excited to be going to a new opportunity, but at the same time, It's very hard to leave the Bahamas and to leave the wonderful team we have here. But I think about everything that the country and the property in particular have gone through in that time. You know, when I imagine the fact that I was here when Butch Kersner sadly passed away, when Sol Kersner had to come back into the organization, when we then opened the Cove and the Reef and Aquaventure, all of the new meeting space, the great openings that happened in 2007, only to have the global crash in late 2008, which resulted in us losing a lot of jobs here. And that was a very, very painful time for all of us. And then our recovery, making sure that Atlantis stayed on the forefront. The amazing efforts by our 8,000 employees.
So you're a CASIC Award winner, Hotelier of the Year 2011. Remember that moment?
Yeah, I do. That was a great year, obviously, for me.
But this modesty isn't overshadowed by the pride he holds over the brand he was instrumental in building.
It's not possible to recreate what we've created here. And the success then led on to more development, which is how Phase 3 eventually opened in 2007. And I suspect that our continued success will lead one day to a Phase 4, which I will be very happy to visit as a tourist.
As he returns to familiar territory in Las Vegas, Marcantonus says he's not cutting the cord with Atlantis or the Bahamas. Neither will progressive advice like multi-island promotion cease.
We just have to work to expose the whole of the Bahamas to the traveling public. And that's a huge advantage for this country. So I see that in the next 10 years, as airlift increases, as we figure out how to get people to all of our islands, whether it's by air or by boat, that our tourism product will be much larger, and therefore so will the economic benefit of people who come to try it out.
We're leaving right at a time, right at the onset of competition between Bahamar and Atlantis. Is that a good thing or a bad thing as a career hotelier and business person?
Can they coexist?
Tomorrow, Marcantonus' parting thoughts on the competition. Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Upon his return to the capital from the Grand Bahama Business Outlook this afternoon, the Prime Minister traveled directly to the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources' Agribusiness Expo at the Gladstone Road Agricultural Center.
Yes, it's where authentically Bahamian-made products are being showcased and also provides vendors with an economic boost. LTV's Munnings covered the opening ceremony where the Prime Minister reiterated government's thrust to expand the national agricultural sector.
You can basically find anything you want Bahamian-made at the 2015 Agribusiness Expo. From beauty products, jams and jellies, delicious meat being grilled, and even boil-up. We tried the new dilly twist, and it tastes really good. And then there's the music. At this afternoon's opening ceremony, Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie charged officials of the Ministry of Agriculture as well as officials of the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation to recognize the value of our assets, particularly these authentically Bahamian-made products to market throughout the world.
I have advised the chairman or president of BAIC to move immediately into a joint venture with Bahamians on ornamentals, because millions of dollars are spent buying trees that grow here. Do not approve anyone buying a coconut tree in Miami where the coconut tree could be bought here.
Prime Minister Christie also added that the 5 million visitors who travel to the Bahamas by sea and air annually must be able to enjoy our authentically Bahamian-made products.
The weakness of the industry has been that 90 cents of every dollar plus, so more than 90 cents, leaks out of the economy. We are one of the leading countries in the leakage of foreign exchange earned from tourism. Because we are a country that believes that if you grow the potato in Idaho, the best place to go for it is Idaho.
and not to grow it yourself.
You can taste the pork and the other authentically Bahamian-made dishes here at the Agri Expo, being held for the next 3 days at the Gladstone Road Industrial Park. I'm Altavis Munnings, ZNS Network News.
The government plans to unveil the University of the Bahamas by the end of the year. I'm Altavis Munnings. That story and more coming up in the Bahamas tonight.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Shell Quality Fuel.